Welcome back, everybody. I'm back at it again with another video. Uh, so what I'm about to do now is now that in the Monday, we had a Sunday London session, we had a Monday New York session. So now we're just going to be taking a look at how we're looking at markets moving forward for the remainder of the week. And just taking a look at where markets kind of were when they open compared to where they closed, at least New York session. So New York session closed about an hour ago for me Central Time. So we're just gonna get right into it. You know what I'm saying? So first thing to take a look at is the US dollar index, right? We're just gonna clear away our technicals here, weekly chart. Just first, we want to make sure we have an overall understanding of how price has been moving in the past. So we see in these past few weeks, especially last week, we see we had a huge increase of momentum to the upside in price with the break. Looks like kind of break of this zone, right? Break down to daily. Right, so we can see it a little bit clearer once we bring back our technicals. Last week we had this area, this previous area resistance, this 97,600 acting as a resistance barrier to price to the upside. So we see price creating higher highs, higher lows, right? Starts to consolidate around this area, 96,800. We see a drop in price, still above our last higher high, right? Really just giving us a nice higher low formation before giving us another higher high at a rejection at this 97,600 zone before coming back down for a higher low and shooting back to the upside. With this move to the upside, right, we see this is a very strong move to the upside, followed by looks like a gap here. So we see a little gap here. We're seeing gaps in price, right? So we're seeing these little gaps. So let's just take a look at the 4-hour, right, and see what price did as it opened up to start trading for the week. Let's just take it to the hour really quick so I can. All right, so this is the last day of trading last week, right? So everything past this line is this week's trading. So if we just go back to our 4-hour, right? We see price broke above this major resistance level. And we always typically want to see is we want to see a break and retest of these levels, right? So we want to see this break, a retest of this level for a confirmation, right? Using this resistance level as a support. And then we want to see further upside movement to create another higher high. As it looks right now, price looks like it wants to go ahead and instead of instantly retesting, it wants to go ahead and possibly hit this 100 level. We look at price in the past and just how it has been moving. We see price had this resistance level here at 94,000, right? We see price broke above this level and kind of gave us a retest, but didn't really give us a strong retest of this zone, right? So we're seeing price is breaking above zones and not really giving you that full concrete retest. So it is something to be aware of, right? As we're looking at price currently, right? If we're looking at the 1 hour, we see price has been kind of in a bit of a consolidation phase, right? We're seeing these candles are really right stacked on top of each other. We're breaking down to the 1 hour. We see this was our last higher high of last week before price started downtrending or giving us a little bit of downside momentum for a higher low. Gave us a higher low. We saw price open up on Sunday with a small gap to the upside before continuation, breaking above this previous higher high level here and retesting this higher high level as a higher low. And we've seen another break for a higher high, equal higher low, right? Which is something to be cautious about. But it is Monday, we did just, a lot of market orders are really just starting to flow in, really get concrete. You're getting a lot of news that was happening over the weekend, any new news developments, right? They're all playing a part in how price is going to move on Mondays. So typically I do like to just let Monday play itself out. I'll typically like look at charts, but I'm not too gun-ho eager to get into any trades unless I'm seeing really valid setups, personally. But if we're seeing prices really starting to consolidate at this top here, right? It's really showing us prices kind of struggling to break through. We see first test, second test, kind of see a rejection. Looks like we had another slight push phase here with before price started crapping out at the end of New York session there, right? So when it comes to the dollar, right, just break it back down to the daily time frame. When it comes to the dollar, I am bullish because clearly we have been moving in a bullish momentum since about May of 2021. So we've constantly, in a sense, been creating higher highs, higher lows, right? There's not really much here for us to look for sales, besides if we're looking for sales at major resistance zones. So let's just take a look at this 100 resistance zone and just kind of observe how this level has been reacted to in the past, right? So we see prices respected this as a strong resistance. We got to break above resistance, retest the support. Looks like multiple times with the formation of a head and shoulders neckline. Broke back below. Had a little action here, but a clean rejection here, clean rejection here. This is kind of just pattern formation of a downward triangle, it looks like, and we're seeing price roll back to the downside. Now we're seeing price retest this level as resistance again. So now we are cautious, right? We are having some strong momentum, bullish candles, but at the same time, we do know there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the markets as it stands right now, right? And it would be nice if we could start to see price fill some of these gaps. Like we're just looking here. Have a gap here that price is yet to fill. And we also have another gap here that price is yet to fill. And also slightly a gap here that price is really yet to fill, right? So we're seeing a lot of gaps in price, which does leave room for downside momentum or for a nice pull phase if market does start to give us that. But other than that, currently as it stands right now, I would be kind of sitting in my hands. More so, I would be bullish on this trend, right? At least until we get to this 100 area here and seeing how price starts to really react within this zone here. A break below this level here of 98.79, 98.80 would kind of give me more of a indication of potential sales with a break below this structure level here of around 98.50. Yeah, around 98.50, 98.51 will be my real key signal on further downside momentum for price. But until then, I'm kind of sitting on my hands, waiting to see if we can get a break above this level. Let's see how price starts to react to this overhead resistance here, right? So we take a look at the British pound dollar index, right? So just mapping out how the British pound is moving. It is a little bit choppier than the US dollar index, but we see price has been bearish, moving in this bearish channel over the last few weeks. But we see more specifically price was bearish last week and closed on a bearish candle. We are seeing another bearish candle forming this week so far, right? So if we bring back our technicals here, break it down to the daily, we're seeing, not to pay attention here, mainly what we're paying attention to here is this downward channel. So we see price has been moving in this downward channel since about July or August of 21. We see pretty much just been kind of steadily making a lower low, lower high type formation, this downward channel, and we are nearing the bottom half of this downward channel. So there is potential that the British pound could catch support here in this area before moving back to the upside to either potentially retest this overhead resistance of this channel, or potentially this resistance zone, which is 13400, right? And we see this has been a major resistance zone. We break to our line chart, right? See, test resistance, resistance, kind of broke above, used to support, broke below, resistance, right? So we're seeing this area has acted as an area of resistance in the past, and may potentially act as another area of resistance as price breaks below this area, and potentially retest for further downside momentum. With further downside momentum, the first area I would be looking to test is 12906, which is just really, excuse me, kind of where I saw the last orders kind of being collected here. We're looking on a daily, right? So we're seeing a lot of rejection from this area, showing me that this area has acted previously as a demand zone. So with that, that's where I would be looking if we do get a break below this downside moving channel. But if we look at 4 hour, we are seeing price did start to stall out at the end of New York session, right before this was halted. We see price was starting to lose a little bit of that momentum once nearing this major support level here. So that is something to keep in mind. Especially when keeping in mind everything that's going in Europe, the British Pound Index is something you want to keep an eye on, and just observing how it's moving within the different sessions. Well, not different sessions, between New York session. So that's something we do want to, be wary of. So now take a look at GU. We'll just take away the technicals here for a minute. So we're looking at GU on the weekly time frame, right? We can see over the past few weeks, we can see pretty much since about May of 2021, which seems to be a correlating date or time frame, if you must. We're seeing last week's candle was extremely bullish. We are moving in a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. And this week candle is bullish as well. We are seeing a break below our last lower low point, right? So we came lower low, lower high, lower low, came up to make a lower high, really made a double top with a lower right shoulder, right? Boom, boom. And now we're rolling over past this new lower low to form, oh yeah, I forgot that happens, to form a new level, right? So we're taking a look at our technicals here. Let's just take a look at the daily. All right, so we're taking a look at our levels here. Got about 4 or 5 key levels that I'm really keeping a close eye on and seeing how price reacts to these levels. So let's just take a look at where price opened up to start the week. So, excuse me. We see price did open up the week right above this resistance area here. That is mainly what I was going off of is this break of this channel here, right? But if we look in the past, we see it has been a lower low support level. If we look here, all right, so we see this area has acted as a little bit of a minor support level in the past, right? So something to keep in mind. So as we're looking at price and what it is doing currently, we see, just get rid of this. Let's zoom in here, right? Boom, that's better, right? So we see when price began the week, we see price did kind of just easily come through this level, right? We are moving in a downward channel. So we did see a pause in price, right? Looking at the 1 hour, right? We saw a little loss of momentum here, right? We saw price hit this bottom line resistance in this channel and did start to give us a couple candles to the upside, kind of like that false hope. just giving us another smaller lower high, right? So we're seeing these very small movements, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower high. And now we have just created another lower low with price stalling out here over the past few hours. Let's see, over the past like 8 hours. So pretty much middle of New York session, we're seeing price start to kind of sizzle out of that momentum phase here. One thing to keep in mind is, even though we already did have a previous break of this channel, a break of this channel does lead us to mainly, or lead me mainly, to look at two key things here. And first would be a potential, so we already got the break, right? So we already had the break of this channel. I would be really, one of the key things I would be looking for to see if we can get a retest, right? So if we can get another push phase here before a continued rollover to the downside to our next level of about 1.29500. That would be my next ideal level of structure. If we're just zooming this out, right, and we can really get rid of this level now, right? It's not really relevant, right? Let's look at daily. So we look back at the daily. We're looking at price nearing this zone here. We see there's actually support, right? Support, saw break below resistance. All right, so little noise in this area, but we're still seeing some minor rejections. We're seeing, price is what's trading within this area. Price manages to bounce once it gets to this area. So that is something, as for me, that I like to keep in mind when I'm looking at how I'm trying to move forward with the remainder of the week, or the rest of the trades for the week, or just understanding how price is moving and where price has the potential to go. So with that, just looking at understanding that we have been moving a downwards channel, a break of a downwards channel. We are seeing a lot of bullish strength in the US dollar. So since this is GU, strength in the US dollar would cause GU to have continued momentum to the downside, which is a key factor. But we also do know price is nearing that 100 key resistance level. So there is potential to see the dollar reject from this level, moving downwards to potentially fill some of those gaps, or just create another higher low formation on probably a higher time frame for continued movement up. But as far as this GU is concerned, kind of two things I'm really looking for here. So I would really like to see a break and retest, or a retest at least, of this level. First hand, bullish on the bearish outlook, right? I want to see a retest, retest this previous structure point here, right? So we see this higher low, retest this higher low as a resistance, roll over to the downside. On the bullish outlook, mainly I will begin looking bullish more so with a close above this level here. Just because I feel like this level here, I feel like more orders were collected here. We're seeing more candles kind of. This was kind of almost like a tweezer top, boom, boom, roll over to the downside type. So I'm not really too strong on looking for buys at this level here, this previous higher low. I will more likely be looking for a stronger confirmation. So I would like to see price really break above, maybe retest this again as support. And then if we get a test of support, a strong break above this level will really give me a strong signal as to what I would do moving forward. If we did get this pullback, right? If we did break above this level, break back within this channel, kind of get a pullback to retest this channel as support again, then I would be looking not only at my identifying candles to see what my candlesticks are telling me necessarily, but also what my market structure is telling me. And once we get a break above this level, we could possibly see further upside momentum to the upside to this 1.33500 level, or even potentially just this 1.33000 level, which is the kind of a higher time frame, higher low, right? Higher low that was never really retested for a strong higher high. So we could possibly see that another strong test, another strong higher high, right? And then further roll over to downside. But as far as I am concerned right now I'm really kind of just waiting, and I'm waiting to see what price is going to do, whether it's going to start to move to the upside and give us a bounce of resistance, or move to the upside, bounce to support, or if we want to continue moving to the downside, trying to hit this 1.29500 level down here, right? So with that, that's kind of my outlook when it comes to GU. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So I think GJ is next on the list. Yeah, GJ. So taking a look at GJ, my markup is like pretty trash on GJ, just for the GJ structure. So if we look at GJ, we see price in the last few weeks kind of been in a bit of a consolidation here, right? We're seeing price made this, after it made this high, we didn't make any new lows. We see price has caught and managed to keep a nice support here with no new highs, making this a nice resistance. So since about October of 21, we see we've really been ranging within this market, within this area of price. So just bringing back our technicals here for a second. Really simple level of support, right? Simple level support, simple level of resistance here. Looking at where price is being rejected on these tops, and using this blue line here, it's just like an overall above, just key identifier when it comes to this higher low position, right? And this test of where price did reject from. So just making sure I'm understanding all of the, not only just the major levels, but those minor levels as well. So taking a look, let's just take a look at the daily, right? So we see when it comes to GJ, we have seen a rollover in price with the formation of this double top. We have been rolling over to the downside for quite some time. We're currently right at this somewhat of a support level. I believe if we do take a look at the lower time frames, like the 4-hour, we do see, you start to see price kind of lose that strong bearish momentum here, which is just the area 4-hour. I'm not a fan of the 1-hour time frame. I'm sure. All right, we're back. So if we're looking at where price is sitting currently, right, we're seeing this level here has just been kind of, in my opinion, a strong level to see how price reacts. So we see it kind of act as resistance for a while, came back, resistance again. And if we look here in present time, this was around November time frame of 21. So we look at price currently, we see price, we did see, and this is why it's so important to understand levels, right? We did see price kind of hesitate at this level, right? So we saw bounce, all still, giving us downside momentum, right? We're still overall seeing price moving to the downside, but we were seeing these potential rejections, and still are, if we're being honest here, right? So we see price is really trying to tell us something here in this zone a little bit. Just a little messy. Right, so it looks like price really wants to try to actually tell us something in this neighboring price zone. So what we could see is a bullish flag pattern, right? So we could see price kind of just channeling down for a second before we could either see maybe another bounce higher, or we could possibly see price just come up to this upper level trend line before rolling back down, either hitting the support or hitting our main area of support at around 150 pretty much. So when it comes to GJ, that's like two very key things, right? We see market structure really at the end of last week, and this week has been really lax. All right, we're not really seeing any too strong moves. So right now, GJ is another pair I would really be sitting on my hands and really just kind of waiting to see how price reacts to this level here. And if we can get a strong break above these levels, like a strong break. And ideally, I would like to see a break and retest of this level for continuation to the upside before I really want to get into any type of buy opportunities, just because of how bearish price has been and how bearish DX and how bullish DXY has been, right? So, you know, GU and GJ kind of have a positive correlation. So typically how you see one moving, you will see a reflection of that movement in the next pair. With everything that's been going on since around, I'll really say Corona, the pandemic era, we've seen a lot of these correlations kind of fluctuate a bit. They're not, I feel like, as true as they were, but they do still hold a level of significance if you were keyed in with your other technicals and fundamental analysis, right? So looking at GJ, this is another pair that I'm really kind of sitting on my hands for, right? I'll either be one looking to get in sales at this upper resistance level, or I will be looking to see if we do get a break above this level, and a break above around this 152,200 level, and possibly a retest of support. Again, I will be more so looking for bullish opportunities, and I would probably just look until about this level here, this 153,400 level. As we see, it's been a pretty decent level that price has managed to test and bounce off of, but also nonetheless, I see this may be a potential area that price may hesitate or reverse it. So another thing, just keeping in mind as we move forward with markets this week. Now I'll take a look at EU. We see EU had a very strong bearish week last week, with price really just showing us like, hey, that was that really strong push in the US dollar, and with the euro kind of being weak with everything going on in Europe right now, it just really wasn't able to really sustain that too well. And we saw that very big push to the downside, right? Still seeing that push. Looking at the weekly, kind of been in the consolidation. I would say just a bit. So let's just go our daily, bring back some more technicals here, right? Nothing too crazy. Like, I don't really trade EU too heavily, right? And this market structure is pretty fairly simple. So right now we are sitting at a level of support for EU. We're seeing right above level of support just with this previous price action. And if we do extend this line further down, we can see, especially on the line chart, this has acted as a strong area in price. So we do know price does have the potential to react to this area. And we are seeing a bit of that reaction here with this wick on the downside on the daily candle. So if we break it down to the 4 hour, on the 4 hours, even more clear, right? So we're really seeing price kind of give us hesitation or pauses in what we're doing right now as far as where price is moving on the downside of things. So let's take another look at the daily, right? With this, kind of 2 things I'm really looking for would be to see how price continues to react to this level of around 1.08135 to see if we are going to get a level of support here, right? We're going to see a strong level of support, possibly see price retest this level of 1.12100 and either give us a reaction, roll over to the downside, or continue movement to the upside. When it comes to EU, I'm not really looking for any buy opportunities until we get to about this 1.12100 level. Just not finding any strong levels of that I think would be able to really indicate that we are moving bullish until we get here, which that is pretty big of a price gap. But that's just how I'm looking at things when it comes to that EU. Let's see. Bitcoin, so crypto always fun. Looking at our weekly, right? We're seeing price kind of been struggling to really find a sense of direction between this 51K and this 34K level, in a sense, right? So looking at our daily, we're seeing lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Pretty much we did see the formation of really this like double top or double top, quadruple top, triple top, whatever top you want to call it, right? Of this 44500 level, which I believe was over the weekend. We saw this price reject from this level, and now we're seeing price kind of roll over to the downside for continuation of the downside momentum that has been reflecting. One key area in price that I am kind of looking at here above our main level of 34K is this minor level here. So if we look at this level, we kind of see this level has kind of acted as a kind of support in past. So just looking to see how price will want to react to that. As it stands right now, I am still very bullish. Crypto's long term, but short term right now in the near future, I am bearish. That's just the fact of the matter. We're getting lower lows or highs. We're not getting anything that really signifies a strong move that we could be seeing further movement to the upside. So with that, just taking price as price is coming to us. Same with Ethereum, like I'm still bearish, and I'm looking forward to price probably hitting this 2350 level, and with Bitcoin this 34K level. If we do fail to push back up above 40K, so push above 40K would at least get me to eyeballing another bullish move to this 44,500 level, and then from there I will be looking for either potential sales or just looking to see how price is going to react to this market for another test. That's really all the cryptos. And then when it comes to indices, I'm not going to touch on indices today. But that is, we got a little rejection up here, so we are seeing a little bit of rejection potentially. With that, that's really gonna sum up everything I kind of want to go over. For today, as far as what markets are doing currently after New York session and what potential moves we may be looking forward to during London session and or New York session tomorrow. So with that, it's been real, and y'all take it easy.